Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to go over with you how to make axolotl fidgets. This pattern, it actually came from, I modified quite a bit from my original little bears keychain pattern. I'll actually post that somewhere up here, a little link if you'd like to check those out. And with a lot of modification and changing, I got to these. Figured I'd show you some of my earlier mishaps along with these too. I left those together before tearing them all apart. But for these ones, we're going to need, we'll need a darning needle, a pair of scissors, a piece of black yarn, roughly about 6 to 8 inches long. We're going to be using this to weave on the mouth, a pair of 6mm safety eyes. You may want to use a stitch marker to mark the beginning and ends of rows. For this one, I'm using a 3mm crochet hook, but all we really want is a crochet hook that your beads can fit over the hook on. We'll need some 6mm by 9mm pony beads. We'll be using 40 of those, 16 of which are on the tail and 24 of which are for the gills. And we'll need some number 4 weight yarn. And we'll also need some polyfill in order to stuff our axolotls. Just as a reminder, all my supplies used in these patterns, I will actually post links in the video description box below. And for those who are interested in an ad-free PDF version of this pattern, I will have links where you can purchase those in the description box below. And also go ahead and check us out on Patreon. To begin, for the beads on the tail, we'll be putting those on differently than we put the beads on for the gills. The easiest way I found for those ones, I've got about 4 different ways for adding beads on. This is the easiest I found for those. Is you're going to take our darning needle, weave that through, and then add 16 beads onto the darning needle. And these we're just going to wait until the end so they're already threaded on. So again, we want 16 beads added. All right, now that we have those added, to begin our crochet project, we're going to create a magic ring. So now that we have our magic ring created, we're going to single crochet 6 times into the magic ring. Once you have your 6 single crochets into the magic ring, pull your tail end of the yarn of the magic ring in order to close. And there we are for row 1. For round 2, I'm going to be working in my tail end into this project. Into that very first single crochet, we're going to single crochet into that same stitch once. And then we're going to start with our first gill. So for this, we're going to pick up a bead onto our hook, yarn over, and pull that loop directly through the bead. Pick up our second bead, yarn over, and pull through the bead. And while doing this, we want to work kind of loosely. And then pick up our third bead, yarn over, and pull through. So now we have 3 beads onto there. Now, if you look on the other side, we've got our 3 little lumps on this side. We're going to take our hook, go between the beads onto the opposite side, And essentially just do a slip stitch. And then into the next one between your first and second bead. And then into the very last one right above the single crochet. So there we are. We've got 1, 2, 3. And then for our stitch again at the bottom, we're going to single crochet a second time into that first single crochet stitch from round 1. And there we are. We have one of its gills created. Now we're going to single crochet 2 times into your next 2 stitches. Now into your next stitch, you're going to single crochet once, and then you're going to create another gill. So pick up your bead onto your hook, yarn over, and pull directly through that bead and through your loop. Pick up your next bead, pull directly through and through your loop. Pick up your third bead, directly through the loop and through. And now again, go in between your second and third bead and just create a slip stitch in between your first and second. Grab your yarn, slip right through, and in between your single crochet and your first bead, and then single crochet into that same stitch where we did the first single crochet and started the gill. Okay. And then we're going to single crochet twice into your next 2 stitches. And there we are for the end of round 2. For round 3, into your first stitch, we're going to single crochet twice. And then create another gill. And then working, we want to make sure that our first row's gill comes up. Now if we look, we did our 2 single crochets into that first single crochet there. Now our next stitch, we're going to single crochet into this next stitch that we did after the gill. So now if you look, one gill is directly on top of the other. Now into our next stitch, we're going to single crochet twice, single crochet once into your next stitch, single crochet 2 times into your next, and single crochet once into the next. Now into this next stitch, we'll put 2 single crochets, and then here we're going to add another gill. And then again, because our gill's right there, our next stitch is right here After the gill, we're going to single crochet into there. And then 2 single crochets into your next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next, 2 single crochets into your next stitch, 1 single crochet into your next. And there we are. For round 3, had 18 total single crochets, and then also 2 gills added. For round 4, we're going to single crochet once into your next 2 stitches, and then create another gill. And then again, look at your stitch. Here is the gill. Right here is your next stitch. You're going to single crochet into there. And then from there, we're going to single crochet once into your next 8 stitches. And now here we're going to create another gill. And then skip over right to your next single crochet, so going behind that last gill. Right here's your next single crochet stitch, single crochet into there. And then we're going to single crochet once into your next 6 stitches. And there we are for round 4. And that one also had 18 single crochets made plus 2 gills. As a reference, make sure your gills are basically right on top of each other. Round 5 is a repeat of round 4, so single crochet into your next 2, create a gill. And then come to the other side of your gill. So once again right here, single crochet into that stitch, and then single crochet once into your next 8 stitches. And then create your next gill. And then again, that next stitch on the other side of that gill, From your last row, single crochet into there to attach the gill. And then single crochet once into your next 6 stitches. And there we are for round 5. For round 6, we're going to single crochet once into your next 18 stitches. Now, whenever you go behind the gill, remember you're skipping over that gill. So we did our first 2 single crochets, go into the next single crochet from behind the gill and single crochet into there. And again, on your other gill, skip over going behind the gill into that next single crochet. And there we are for round 6. For round 7, we're going to decrease 9 times. So go into your stitch, pull up a loop, go into your next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. And there's your single crochet decrease. And do that 8 more times. And there we are for round 7. Now after round 7, this is where I like to remove my hook. Go to the opposite side of where you're working. We come down 1, 2, 3, so in between your 3rd and 4th row, about 2 stitches from either side of the gills. Insert your safety eye. And same on the other side. Then take a look, make sure that the placement looks good to you before attaching the backs. Now for your black piece of yarn, we're going to come in and go right below the eyes across 1, 2, 3 stitches. So from here until here, I'm going to take just my crochet hook. You can use the darning needle. I'm just finding the crochet hook works a little bit faster for me. And you're just going to weave that in. And I do like to go twice over. You can do yours however you wish. This is just a preference of mine. Secure the ends with a square knot. Trim your ends. And there we are with our face on our axolotl. All right, moving forward, we're going to go to now, this will be round 8. For round 8, we're going to put 2 single crochets in each of the 9 stitches from our previous row. So we'll have 18 total single crochets. And there we are for round 8. For round 9, we're going to single crochet once into our next 18 stitches. And there we are for round 9. For round 10, we single crochet once into your next 4 stitches. Now into our next stitch, we're gonna double crochet 5 together or create a bobble. So you start with your double crochet, go through your first 2 loops only, yarn over, create another double crochet, yarn over, go through your first 2 loops only. So we got 2 on there, 3, 4, 5, yarn over, go through all 6 loops, and then single crochet once into your next 6 stitches. And then we're going to create another double crochet 5 together. And then single crochet once into your next 6 stitches. And there we are for round 10. Now from here, I do like to go ahead and stuff as I go, just because he's not as thick around as some of the others. So I find it a little bit easier to stuff as I go. You can wait till the end to start stuffing if that's your choice, but just a little suggestion that I have found. Now for rounds 11, 12, and 13, we're going to single crochet once into each of your next 18 stitches. So I will meet you back here at the end of round 13. So single crochet once into your next 18 stitches for rounds 11, 12, and 13. Here we are at the end of round 13. Another way to look at those 3 rounds of single crochets is, because they're 18 each, single crochet 54 times if you're working straight through. For round 14, we're going to single crochet once into your next 5 stitches. And then double crochet 5 together. And then single crochet once into your next 6 stitches. And then double crochet 5 together. And then single crochet once into your next 5 stitches. And there we are for the end of round 14. And just a little heads up, those double crochet 5 together, those formed your arms and legs of our little creatures. So if you're ever creating a little creature and want to add little arms, feet, whatever, that is one method of being able to add feet to your creation. For round 15, we're going to decrease and then single crochet once into your next 4 stitches. And then we're going to repeat that 2 more times. Decrease, single crochet 4. And round 15 had a total of 15 stitches made. All right, now for round 16, here's where we're going to start using our beads that we threaded on. Our first stitch, we're going to do a decrease and then single crochet into your next 3 stitches. 1, 2, but your third stitch is going to have a bead added on to that third stitch. So bring a bead up, push it up against that previous single crochet, go into your next stitch and create a single crochet. And that adds a little bead onto there that makes it pop. This is probably one of the easiest ways that I know to make a popped little bead onto there. There's multiple different ways that you can to make it pop out, make it inlaid. This is, from what I've heard from people, seems to be about the easiest. Now continuing on, we're going to decrease, single crochet into your next 3 stitches. And then decrease. Now we're going to add 1 more bead. So bring that up right up against your previous stitch. Go into your next stitch and create a single crochet. And then single crochet once into your last 2 stitches. And round 16 had 12 stitches total. For round 17, we're going to single crochet into your next 3 stitches. And then our fourth stitch is going to be a beaded single crochet. So bring that over, go into your next stitch and single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet once into your next 5 stitches. And then bring a bead, and for our 10th stitch, bring that right up against the last one. Go into your next stitch and make your single crochet. And then into your last 2 stitches, single crochet once. And there we are for round 17. For round 18 and 19 is a repeat of round 17. So go ahead and repeat that last row 2 more times. And here we are at the end of round 19. For round 20, from here we will decrease. And then single crochet into our next stitch. And then in our next, we're going to add 1 bead. So bring that all the way over, go into your next stitch and just single crochet. And then we're going to decrease. And then single crochet into your next 2 stitches. And then decrease. Then bring up 1 more bead. And push that all the way over against your decrease. Single crochet right into that last stitch, next stitch. And then single crochet into your last. And this round has 9 stitches. And that is round 20. Now for round 21, we're going to single crochet once into your first 2 stitches. Bring up a bead, a beaded single crochet into your 3rd stitch. And then single crochet into your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Bring up a bead. Push that right up against your last single crochet. Single crochet into that next for your 8th. And then 1 single crochet into your 9th. And there we are for the end of round 21. For rounds 22 and 23, it's just a repeat of round 21. All right, here we are at the end of round 23. From here, I'm going to pull up a long loop, cut my yarn, and go ahead and finish stuffing our axolotl. All right, now that you have him stuffed, for closing him up, down here on the very bottom, we have our front loops and our back loops. I'm going to go into the front loops with our darning needle onto each stitch all the way around. And then from here, pull tight in order to close. This brings it down to a more, kind of a little bit more rounded bottom onto them. And then you can go ahead and weave in your ends. And there you are with your stuffed axolotl fidget. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave it a little thumbs up, like, let me know in the comment section what you think. And if you have yet to subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with that bell notification next to it for a heads up every time I post a new video.